Hello, welcome to California Up Now. I'm Gleidson Martins in for Claudia Eisman, and today our guest is Scott Wiener, San Francisco Supervisor for District 8. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you for having me.
So, Scott, let's go get to the point of California. Why this election is so important for people to go out and vote?
Well, this election is incredibly important. In addition to the presidential election, where we
Absolutely.
have a pretty clear choice, in my view, for Hillary Clinton, we have in California, for the first time in almost 25 years, an open U.S. Senate seat. I'm supporting Kamala Harris, but we have two candidates running, and it's very important. We have a ballot measure to legalize adult use of cannabis, of marijuana. We have a proposal to repeal the death penalty. We have a very, very important public education funding measure on the statewide ballot. And then locally, we have very important measures to try to fund more housing for homeless people, better public transportation, to require the city to take over responsibility for street trees, a number of really important measures, a critical bond for BART, because BART is falling apart. So people need to go out and vote.
So a couple of things I just want to touch bases. You mentioning public transportation. The situation in San Francisco in general in the Bay Area is getting, worse and worse. And with all of people once you move into San Francisco, what should we do to get a better public transportation? Because it seems to me they don't run all over the city, especially, right? And sometimes when you go to some muni stations underground, you look at the screen and it says next inbound 2 minutes. And then they suddenly change for 4 minutes. We never know which time they're arriving.
Well, we, in the Bay Area, in the 1970s, we did two very visionary things. In 1972, we opened up the BART system. In 1978, we opened up the Market Street subway, if you can even imagine what it would be like without the subway, without BART. But the problem is, we then stopped. And in the last almost 40 years, we have not opened up one additional inch of subway capacity in San Francisco. And we've grown by 200,000 people during that time period. And the Bay Area has grown by 2 million people. And in fact, we've allowed these systems, particularly BART, but also Muni, to deteriorate. And BART is literally falling apart. And so we need to get it together, because the Bay Area is going to grow by another 2 million people in the next 25 years. We have to dramatically increase in BART, in Muni, in Caltrain, and shore them up, fix them, make them reliable, modernize them, and then increase their reach and their capacity. And we need, for example, subway service in western San Francisco and down to the Bayview. We need a second Transbay tube so BART can run 24 hours, and we can create true regional rail by connecting Caltrain to the Capitol Corridor. It's a lot of work to do, but it's going to take a lot of political will because it's expensive.
And I believe there's a ballot supposed to be voted for one of them for the transportation, right?
There are two. There is a regional bond for BART,
Yes.
$3.5 billion. It's a critically important bond, Prop RR. And then there are two measures that are companion measures, Props J and K in San Francisco, that will generate $100 million a year in funding for public transportation improvements and for road resurfacing.
That's a lot.
And bike improvements as well.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it can pass, right?
Yeah.
So, change gears, speaking still about San Francisco Bay Area, a lot of people want to move into San Francisco. How can we improve affordable housing? Because it seems to be worse in California to build houses.
Yeah, so in California in general, it used to be this crisis was limited to San Francisco and a few other cities. It is becoming a much broader issue throughout significant swaths of California, that housing is so expensive that it is pricing people out, that people struggle to get housing for a growing family, that it's jeopardizing job growth because employers want to go where their employees can afford to live. And we in California, in San Francisco and the Bay Area, but in many parts of the state, we've made it so hard to create housing. It takes so long, it's so expensive, it's so difficult. The zoning is so restrictive that we are shooting ourselves in the foot. And we've done it for almost 40 years now. and we have to change because we've grown and we've not added enough new housing, and that makes housing less affordable, and it's caused this crisis. So we have to course correct.
And yet, I mean, San Francisco is one of the most richest city in the whole country. I mean, we make millions and billions, maybe billions in property taxes every year. I mean, we have the money. What should we do?
Well, we are investing unprecedented sums in affordable housing, particularly for low-income people, and that's very important. And we need better support from the state and the federal government, but we're doing it here locally in San Francisco. But to be really clear, public subsidies are important, particularly for low-income. We will never subsidize our way out of our middle-class housing problem. It's too big a problem. There's too many people. It's too deep. It's too broad. For our middle class, we just have to have more housing, period, because we don't have enough.
Okay. We're going to take a short break. Please stay right there. We'll be right back. More with Scott Wiener.
Book your wedding day with us. Salon DNA, 415-956-1909.
Welcome back to California Up Now. I'm Gleidson Martins, in for Claudia Eisman Scott. So we're talking about affordable housing, property taxes. What about the Prop 13?
Well, California the voters adopted Prop 13 in 1978, and what it did was it rolled back property taxes and then capped them. So your property taxes can only go up by about 1% per year. And then when you sell the property, it can be reassessed to full market rate. And Prop 13 was sold to the voters as a way to protect homeowners, and particularly seniors, people on fixed incomes, who can't afford to pay a spike in property taxes. And so we wanted to protect them and keep them in their homes. The problem is that Prop 13 also applies to commercial property, including large commercial property. So the Bank of America building or the Transamerica Pyramid have the same Prop 13 protection as a small homeowner. In fact, they have more Prop 13 protection because you can structure a commercial sale of property in a way that does not trigger a reassessment. So there is an idea to try to take at least large commercial property out of Prop 13. That would generate significant new funds for the state, particularly for public education. But that would require a statewide ballot measure, and it would be hard to pass it because there would be a lot of pushback against it from the business community. So that's where we are.
So, and you are running for State Senate District 11.
Yeah.
So, how's the campaign?
It's close. It's a close race, but we're working really hard. I'm knocking on doors. We're out in the morning at Muni stops, and we're really trying to get our message out of the work that I've done here in San Francisco and that I will do in Sacramento to try to improve our housing situation, to make public transportation more reliable, to make sure everyone has access to health care, and to support our public schools and to modernize our water system. These are issues I'm really passionate about, and I've done a lot of work here, and I want to take that work to the state level.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I truly appreciate it, your time, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for watching. Claudia should be back next Saturday. Thank you. Bye-bye.